What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more speedy scroll speed action, also known as Age Mythology, the Titans action, in the red color, spawning as an Odin player, an Odin god. His name is Suppe, and he's already starting off with some fancy shenanigans here. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Oranos. His name is Mariano, also known as Jorge El Curioso, as the cool kids like to call him. Now, the map here is looking to me to be Sheltered Pass, but I could be wrong about this. It is Sheltered Pass. And Sheltered Pass is a really interesting map, as we see Suppe doing some shenanigans here with the goat. That's very funny. I love that. And he's managed to actually pull the rhino right underneath the town center here. That is absolutely huge, and cast the Great Hunt on this one. So this does a couple of things. So we'll talk a little bit about this first, because I think this is the most interesting thing you're going to see in the early game. But the way that animals work in Age of Mythology is their spawn position. So say this rhino spawns right here, where it is. It's moved. So it's probably spawning point was probably here, right? That spawn position means that you have to draw a circle around that spawn position, and that's how far that animal can move before it runs away. So if it spawns here, it can move to around about here, and then it will come back to here, or maybe it moves to about here. Probably it's probably not that far. It's probably about to the tower, right? So a very small amount of distance that it'll move before it wants to run back. Now, if you then utilize the Great Hunt thing on one of these animals that you can move, that spawn position of the animal you've created is where you clicked the Great Hunt. So it spawns right here. So it's now going to be obviously right next to the town center, which is very good for Suppe and for Norse players. So this is why we see Odin players utilizing Great Hunt on a rhino here, which is only 500 food, rather than perhaps on a pack of zebra, where you could perhaps get 600 food, or even you could only get 600 food from the giraffe as well. So this is why you would see this from an Odin player, and Suppe is going to have a very nice build order here. To start off with, you can also see he's only built one ox cart at the moment, able to get out so many villagers straight away. He's able to boost his economy through the stratosphere here in the early stages of the game. And now we see Suppe dropping down the temple on the front of the map here. He is going to be looking to be very aggressive in this game. Now, one thing that we have been seeing from Oranos players here against the aggressive Odin is the 4-minute advance time for one, which we are seeing here from Mr. Jorge. And we are seeing Heimdall coming through for Suppe. So a very similar advance time for both players. But one thing we've been seeing here from both of the from the Oranos players in this situation is, instead of going out onto the second hunt, they just go onto the chickens or onto the berry bushes and start their production straight away without taking much harass early game, which allows them to kind of start building units and start defending against the early aggression. Now, we do see some houses coming up on this location here for Suppe. He's going to be looking to start walling this off and getting himself some sort of a security of those giraffe here. As the Hearser is starting to come out, we do see a Hearser has grabbed a relic here, which was the Bridle of Pegasus, which is a relic was worth grabbing, especially when you've got 2 ravens already. So that gives you an extra Pegasus every minute or so if your Pegasus dies, which means there's going to be 3 flying units worth of map hacks here. As we do see the Valor immediately getting dropped down here. Suppe not paying attention, going to have to pull back. As we do see the Einherjar is out. The Longhouse is getting dropped down onto these positions as the Ravens searching around for the military barracks. He does spot this one here. We'll be utilizing that undermine onto the military barracks, most likely taking down the sentry tower, as well as getting some damage onto the manor as well. Nice play there from Suppe. Get some value out of his undermine to start the game off. Military barracks still going to be back up on this position as well, as both the Longhouse is going to come down for Suppe very fast. Meanwhile, in the main base, Suppe going to be also not getting himself the ox cart for even longer, but he is kind of long distance gathering from this Rhino. Didn't manage to pull that one over to the gold mine here. Not the biggest of deals, but Suppe here, he's ready to start going. He's getting himself the Olsark out. He's got himself the Einhjar out. The Pegasus flying overhead as well. You can see that Mariano at this point here, he is building Citizen. He's got 3 Citizen on food at this moment, just sitting in his base as the Murmillo is starting to come out. We also see a random Catapulti queued up here for Mariano. As you can also see, the mana taking just a little bit of damage there as another mana has been dropped onto this position. But Suppe at this point now, taking a little bit long to start getting going here. You can see the Promethean offspring getting in onto this location, getting a little bit of damage done as the Promethean going to be retreating away. The house is kind of being forgotten here by Suppe for actually quite a long while here as the Herso trying to come in onto this position and deal with this as the Promethean come through. That villager is going to be getting sniped down. Nice play by Mariano as now Mariano pushing forward on the front. Suppe has managed to throw down that house. The Arnie are taking a lot of damage there by those hero oracles, but they're being pulled back nicely at this point as Mariano decides to retreat away as the Promethean offspring will get sniped down. The villagers here for Suppe are going to continue to move forward, but Shockwave getting dropped down. Mariano's got himself 52 population. Suppe's got himself 52 population as well. So he's actually going to be quite careful here in this situation because Mariano's just going to continue to be pushing in front at this moment. He's going to continue to get more and more population here, and Suppe needs to take really good fights for the most part in the early stages of this game as Mariano retreats back. He's got himself out 4 Terma as well, so it's not even that easy here for Suppe to simply just build himself, throw an Axeman. One thing that Suppe probably could have done here, and he's going to be realizing it now, is pulling his villagers off of wood. He doesn't really need wood. He's got 300 in the bank. Maybe throwing down an extra longhouse here wouldn't go astray. We are seeing the raid now coming through for Mariano as Suppe has got put no effort into defending these villagers. This is a huge amount of damage that's coming through onto this position. Meanwhile, the villagers coming up to the top side of the map here, eating the Rhino as Suppe's going to be attempting to put some pressure over there. But losing the ox cart, losing the villagers, that's so much damage there. We do see the villagers now moving over onto the zebra, onto this position as we are having Suppe now moving into the main base of Mariano. Couple of Ulfsar going to be hitting this top location as the sentry tower is under attack. I love this play here from Suppe, hitting 2 locations, but most importantly, hitting the sentry tower first. Mariano is not going to be alerted to the fact that these Ulfsar are hitting these villagers up onto this location here as the army pushes forward, pushes the Ulfsar back. Mana gets taken out. Citizen goes down. 1 citizen down. 2 citizen down. Meanwhile, in this location, the temple is taken out as well as the army comes through, starting to take this fight over here as we almost see the hero citizen getting taken down, but it does retreat back into the mana there as the Herso able to take down those Promethean offspring very, very nicely. Retreating back, we see some more units coming in over here from Suppe. Suppe has to retreat back. He doesn't have the temple now to build himself those Einhjar with the favor that he's grabbed, as he's going to have to retreat his army back here. He may be able to take this fight with 2 Einhjar here, as that's going to boost his damage quite considerably with the special attack, but more units coming through for Mariano as well. We do see the Ulfsar coming in onto the back of this location here. They do have Lone Wanderer here as well. Nice micro from Mariano to retreat away from that one there. With those Terma as best as he possibly can. Population relatively equal here at this moment, but the Einhjar have all been taken out, so no more boosts, no more Herso on this position. Meanwhile, on the top location here, 5 Ulfsar not there in that fight means that fight was actually an incredible advantage point for Mariano to take. He had 10 population more in that fight, but the citizen here going to be making a break for it. Can Suppe finish this one off? It's only got itself 17 HP, but it's a very, very speedy citizen. 8 HP remaining, 3 HP remaining, 0 HP remaining. Suppe manages to get that kill, but now he needs to take his time. He needs to actually retreat back because Mariano has got the population advantage after all is said and done here. We are seeing the sentry tower getting taken out. If Suppe just retreats back, rebuilds some of his buildings, and just recoups all of those losses, he might be in a decent position here. But we are seeing now that Mariano, he's ready to look for some raids. He's like, I'm on 8 citizen. If he picks off a couple of citizen, he'll be in a good position, or a couple of villagers here, and he will be finding the gatherers on this point as Suppe here is defended some of his gatherers, but not all of them here in this game. As one villager going down, the villager's going to decide to turn around and start shanking as the old start coming over here to attempt to chase these units away. But the villagers will all be picked off, and Mariano will simply just retreat away, loses one terma for 4 gatherers there. That is absolutely huge. As now Mariano is starting to push forward onto this position, looking to take out the houses on the front. Suppe here, he's still trying to pump out units. He's got 62 favor in the bank. Plenty of favor there. Plenty of favor there to build Einhjar and stuff, but he doesn't have the temple up. And those Einhjar would be a very, very big help coming up on a nearby fight in probably about a minute or 2 would be very helpful, because the gold mine here, I mean, he's got 2 gold mines over on both sides, but the gold mines could be a very, very nice place for Suppe to be attacking, as we are seeing the Olfsark surrounding the units beautifully, but there's plenty of Promethean here now. While all those Terma effectively die instantly there due to the positioning that Suppe had, the Murmillo going to be very, very useful. A big shockwave there helping out quite a lot. More Promethean coming in onto this fight here, as we do see some Hursa queued up by Suppe to try and deal with those. But Suppe will have to retreat back now, as the Promethean are just too strong. One Hursa going to pop out will be a big, big help here in this fight, but it gets run straight into the army. They're going to be trying to retreat that one away. We do see a temple attempting to come up here by Suppe. Suppe's also on a secondary gold mine over here, so he does have to be very, very careful. Not only that, the villagers back over onto the Rhino here. Mariano back up to 9 citizens, Suppe 25 villagers, so still very, very equal in terms of income here for both players in this game. We'll have to see how things are going to be going here as Suppe retreats into the corner, and we'll see how things are going to be going with. There's the temple up now for Suppe. He's going to attempt to get some Einhjar out here immediately, as another longhouse going to be coming down as well. As the villagers, they're back over onto the zebra in the middle of the map here. As the Einhjar started, Einhjar take like 20 seconds to train, or 17 seconds to train. So it's a very, very long process to get those out, as Mariano has taken a lot of very, very nice trades here. As the old Stark searching for something, not finding anything, but all those houses getting taken down, and Suppe here is now not even able to get that Einhjar out on this fight, as we do see the Ulfsark coming through here. The Hursa able to start targeting down those Promethean. Two Hursa here should be enough to clean up most of those Promethean, as the Kyrobalis are coming in onto this fight here as well. Units falling, as now the production will start for Suppe. Suppe does have the defender's advantage on this front here, as the Ulfsark trying to get in here to take out the Kyrobalis. The Einhjar spawns here for Suppe, as well as Mariano gets pushed back on this fight, as the Kyrobalis are getting taken down. The gold mine in the main base here for Mariano is now just falling, as Mariano has to pull all the way back home here, and Suppe is going to be able to start looking for gold mines. Now, there's gold at the top of the map that Suppe is going to have to worry about, because there's villagers already up here on the Rhino, as well as the gold mine over here to boot. Meanwhile, this Pegasus could definitely be utilized a little bit better, as now Suppe is going to be setting that one over there. We do see that Suppe's going to be checking out the gold. He sees the gold mine here with only 30 gold left in it. Population advantage here for Suppe is considerable at nearly 15, but Suppe needs to get his houses down to continue pushing in front. Suppe also has the tech advantage of having medium infantry here, as the units here for Mariano are going to be retreating back, as Suppe tries to push in, tries to take out those Kyrobalis as best as he possibly can. He's only sent 2 Ulfsark around to take these out, but they will be able to finish off the Kyrobalis relatively fast there, as the Einhjar are going to help out so much in this fight. As the Kyrobalis gets taken down, villagers coming through to try and help out as well. The citizen going to be getting cleaned up very, very fast, and at this point, population differential makes it seem like it's going to be an incredibly difficult game for Mariano to come back. Mariano's got no gold in the bank. 75 population still remaining here for Suppe. Not only that, he's got 76 favor, which is a metric shit ton of Einhjar that Suppe could potentially build here in this fight. And Mariano's got no valors left, as Mariano decides to tap out there in the 13th minute of this game. Suppe's Heimdall rush claims yet another Oranos victim here in the Champions League. He's been doing this for must be years now. This Heimdall rush is almost down to a science here for Suppe. The one thing that Suppe simply needs to get a little bit better at is figuring out how to defend the villagers that are on this hunt. The thing is here, if Suppe was on these giraffe, right, instead of the top giraffe here, he would have been having his army in a defensive position, and there would have been zero things that Mariano could have done to actually find his way back into this game. But the fact of the matter is that then Suppe managed to do an incredibly strong counterattack, which Mariano was not paying attention to. Lost 2 citizen on the top side of the map, 3 citizen actually on the top side of the map. And losing 3 citizen for Oranos when you go for a 4-minute advance time, that's going to be game over most of the time. And while the game was kind of close, he just could not find enough of an advantage to win this one. And Suppe claims game number 1 in this best of 3 series for the group stages of the qualifiers. No, of the group stages of the, I guess it's a qualifiers in some sense, but the group stages for the Champions League. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow button on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.